Hey, what's up, you guys? So, in today's podcast, I will be reviewing the book Fahrenheit 451 by Rad Bradbury. The title of the book, Fahrenheit 451, comes from the temperature it takes to burn the paper in a book. So, Ray Bradbury writes this book in American society way into the future. And in this society, America is at war with the rest of the world, and all houses are now fireproof. The interior walls of a house are made at a huge television screen. Education is not really about learning subjects like math and history, but rather than committing facts to memory. Religion is now run by advertising firms, so basically, God can advertise underpants. But that's not the only thing that's wrong with this society. The story follows Guy Montag, a man in his mid 30s who is a fireman. And firemen in this time or in this era do not put out fires but rather start them. So you may be wondering, what fires do they start? Well, they burn books, because in this society, books are seen as illegal. Books are seen as a source of unhappiness and of boredom, and people don't want that. People want to be happy and entertained. So books are burned. And what the firemen do is that they burn the houses that are thought to contain books, and they burn the books with them. And that's Guy's occupation. And he's very proud of his job. He doesn't really question why books are burned and why his society is like this until his life changes. He starts to befriend his neighbor named Clarice, who is a young 17-year-old girl who is seen as an outcast of the society. And she starts to give Guy stories on how life was back in the days when kids got an actual formal education, when firemen used to put out fires rather than start them, and when people went on walks. How crazy is that? With this newfound information from Clarice, he finds himself stealing a book from a pile that he's supposed to be burning and reading it. He also seems to find himself befriending a man named Faber, who was an old college professor who was taken out of his job due to the sudden lack of interest in education. Guy Montag, believing that he could trust his own wife Mildred by showing her the collection of books he has, soon finds that he is wrong. His wife Mildred rats him out to the fireman crew that he belongs to, and he finds himself having a huge argument with Mr. Beatty, his fireman captain. This leads to Guy Montag trying to escape his city and being put into a chase where a huge 8-legged mechanical hound is chasing after him, and the entire city is watching his chase. Of course, since this is just a review, I left out a lot of the description and a lot of the scenes that went into Guy questioning his job and of Guy going through his journey of realizing how books are an important part of society. From the different characters in the book, like Guy, Mildred, Clarice, Faber, Beatty, and Granger, I felt as if they served as different points of views on the book ban. And also, I feel like Ray Bradbury wasn't really trying to focus on censorship. Like, I really don't think that was the theme of this book, but rather it was how synthetic entertainment is overtaking our society. In the 21st century, we have so many entertainment portals that we could use. For example, we could use phones now, we could watch TV shows, we can use iPads, we can use television where we can get our news. Like, we don't really use books anymore to get our information because we now have the web. We don't really use the newspaper to look at the news because, well, we have TVs and radio. So I feel like Ray Bradbury was trying to bring to light how our society has changed, and change is good, but sometimes it could be bad. So I truly do recommend this book for people who are interested in sci-fi, who are interested in reading books about dystopian futures, and it can be a bit confusing with all the figurative language that Bradbury uses and how fast-paced the book is, because all of the events do occur in a span of 1 to 2 weeks, so it can be a bit confusing. But all in all, it's a good book, and it had me really hooked. Thank you for listening to this podcast review, and I hope you had a good time and hopefully encourage you to read the book because it was good. So that's it all for today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!